too early to ask about the QBs for Friday?
No, I mean, again, like I talked to you guys about last time, it's all predicated on Caleb being cleared to play. If Caleb gets cleared to play, he'll start and he'll play probably a quarter, and then it'll be James and Jonathan playing, finishing up the game. If Caleb doesn't go, Bethel probably goes and plays a couple series, and then it'll be James and Jonathan from there. That's kind of the way we see it. I'm not being secretive about it. It's really just up to the health of Caleb, and he's done a great job being ready for this moment. So I'm looking for, and everything he's done in practice and our scrimmage indicated he'll be ready. He still has to pass a test for that to happen.
When do you know when he'll be cleared?
Tomorrow, I believe. Yeah.
James Morgan, what did you like in his outing last time?
Well, he was very composed, threw the ball accurately, made plays, and he was ready to play. I mean, it's hard when you have to sit all game long, coming in the fourth quarter and play in a rain game, without a lot of reps. He got quite a few reps in camp, but not as much as the other guys, and so that's a tough situation to be put in. But he drove us down the field, completed 2 third downs. It was pretty close on another one in the end zone for a touchdown. And really the last third down play, he did a great job moving in the pocket and giving us a chance because, we weren't perfect on that play execution-wise. We had an offsides as well, so it wouldn't have mattered, but he did everything he could to make that play work. And I'll tell you this, I had him break down the practice today because no one prepares better than James. I've been around this football league for 25 years, and I've been around some great quarterbacks, and I get to coach with one of them that was the best I ever saw at it. That guy right there prepares like a pro every single day, so consistent with it. And he not only gets himself ready, but he takes our second and third group receivers and does a walkthrough every single morning with them. So, I'm very proud of him and what he does, and I'm never surprised with the success that our offense has when he's on the field. So he's done a tremendous job in camp, so I'm excited to watch him play.
Can he do short yardage?
That's remained to be seen. Right now, we have a really good guy that if he's healthy, he's going to do it for us.
But if he's not healthy?
If he's not healthy, then we got a guy that I think James is big and strong, and I think he can move the pocket or move that line of scrimmage the way we need it to be done.
How different is he from last year?
What's that, sorry?
How different is he from last year?
I'll say this, he's definitely more accurate this year, so he's worked on his mechanics a little bit. We told him, you've got to show it on the field. Like every single day, it's got to be consistent the way you're throwing it and spinning it. He spins it extremely well, but this year is just more accurate. And I think part of that's just knowing the offense just a little bit better, his timing's a little bit better, and the reps he's gotten. We've given him more reps this camp too. So, he's done just a tremendous job though. But I think the accuracy is what I've seen out of him. The playmaking throws that he makes, the wow throws he makes, this camp has been more so than what we saw last year.
This was your last official training camp practice. This is your 3rd camp as coach. Is there anything that made this camp different or unique?
Obviously I think every year it's a little different because everybody's just a little bit different. You kind of say you never forget your first camp. I never will forget the first practice I was at when I stated, I'm excited to be here because after one practice, I know these guys know how to work. And that's always the hardest thing, to watch people work and practice and get it. And I knew we had something special right off the bat. That has never wavered. That's what our team is built on. And so I'm very proud of that. But to take a whole bunch of new guys, half of our team right now is new to us. But to take them and have that culture and combine that with standards and, the way we work together, just very proud more than anything, and excited about the next one, the next game with these guys.
So what will you? I mean, this is a game obviously for the rookies. What words of wisdom will you impart on them?
I'll say this, we want a physical football team. That's what we're built on, physical, outwork you kind of team. So they got to play physical every single snap. That's a choice of theirs, every single snap. So that'll be the first thing. I want to see them have fun and enjoy the experience together. And then just be consistent with what we've seen through camp. Show it on the field. We talk a lot about the ATE, the ability, toughness, and effort, and that's a team. We want to see that as a team. But obviously, they're going to have that ability to shine every single play. Just go out and do it. And they represent Montreal, Quebec, and the 425. Every single time the Alouettes hit the field, that's what we say, and that's what we want to see from them. So, they've done a great job coming together. Now it's about going out and doing it together.
And they have to have the game of their lives.
Well, yeah, that's. I mean, we've never been shy about saying there's competition on this team, and that's for every single position. Every single player has been told that from day one. And we told the vets, don't you dare. Think that you've made it. The rookies, don't think you're out of it. just every single day prepare and play and give us everything. We want to see that ability, toughness, and effort on every single play, and it's their choice to do that, and we want to see it done. But yeah, every single guy needs to go on that field and feel like he can make our team, whether it's the first 45-man roster or the 15th or the 18th or the last one of the year. We're going to keep around guys. We've played with over 70 players the last 2 years. So who do you think we're going to pick from? We're going to pick from this group because we know these guys and we've seen them work. And the guys that prove it to us on Friday are going to be the ones that make our team, are around our team, and then the guys we call back most likely during the season, depending on how it goes.
And who's your starting tailback?
Well, right now going into this one, it's probably going to be Stevie starting this one, and then Tyson and Nelms will probably finish it off. So I think they've all done a great job there. So the only ones that won't play are Fletch and Sean, and we'll go from there with our evaluations.
Is your ID pretty much made up, and people need to surprise you this Friday, or there are still spots open?
No, there's spots open for sure, and I would say to everybody, don't you dare think you're out of it. And we talked about that this week. Don't think you're out of nothing. Prepare like you're going to be a starter for us. Go in there and play the game like a starter, and then let us decide, what happens, at the end. But you got to give it your all, and you can't think you're out of it. That's the first thing about a pro player is he got to believe in himself first and believe that he belongs. And if those guys will do that and go out and show us what they got, it'll be good for them at the end. Like I said, maybe not the first 45-man roster we have, but at some point they're going to make that 45-man roster, and we'll notice them.
You've talked about standards, all through the camp.
Yeah.
What kind of response do you want to see your team get, especially after the last loss?
Yeah, again, physicality. I'd like to see us bring our physicality. That's what we're known for as a football team. So I want to see that first and foremost. Obviously, the way we play our brand of football, effort and toughness. It's all got to shine through. But consistency on, doing your job and being smart and disciplined. We took way too many penalties in that game than we're accustomed to as a football team. So you want to see that as well. But staying together and playing for one another, that's another standard that we have. So, I saw a lot of that. I saw the belief right to the end too. So, it's just about going out there and playing together as a unit. No matter who's in that ball game, they're playing like Alouette football can be played.
So Tyson, you told us all camp long you wanted to play, but coach told us you won't be playing before June the 6th. So how do you feel about that?
I feel good. Obviously would have loved to get my feet wet a little bit in the preseason, but not anything I'm worried about at all. I know these practices out here are always harder than the games, so definitely be ready for that home opener on June 6th, and just glad the body's matching up.
Yeah, we were just talking about it. The pain is gone. Even though you've been practicing on consecutive days all throughout the 3 weeks, so that must be a burden off your back.
Definitely super exciting. You always want to see how the body will respond to the intensity of practice. You can only mimic it so much in the off season, doing the rehab and that kind of stuff. So surprised myself a little bit. Definitely got out here a little bit faster than I thought. Maybe thought I was going to have a little bit of pain, like you said, some residual stuff, but it's been so smooth. It's been feeling really great. I've honestly had to, worry about the other parts of the body, making sure I'm not just compensating. So other than that, yeah, I've been feeling really great. And yeah, the body's looking like we're back to 100%.
Obviously, you didn't finish the season last year with the team, but how excited are you to go and play in the Argos home opener? Yeah,
so, I mean, I know I wasn't on the field, but I treated it like I was on the field, We feel like that's unfinished business for sure. We still look at it like a game that we let slip, when you have 6 turnovers and you still lose by 2 points. That's something that eats at you all off season. That's something that 1 or 2 plays could have went the other way. We know we're winning that game. We're having a chance to win our second or back-to-back Grey Cup. So I think that new hunger has been found in this training camp. It's a little bit different than last year. We got some chippiness out here. The boys are ready. Obviously, with that last preseason game too, it wasn't our best football that we put forward. So looking forward to this weekend, seeing the guys clean up a couple mistakes and showing what Alouette football is about.
Is 3 weeks of camp enough to, find chemistry with a new QB?
100%, especially when you're in a Jason Maas camp that, like I said before, you're running 13,000 yards as a receiver. I think Charleston Rambo put up 75,000 yards in 3 weeks. So that's a lot of reps. That's a lot of catches from Davis. That's a lot of catches from McLeod. Yeah, and I think today was kind of like that cherry on the top. The offense was firing at all cylinders, showing what we're really about. And we made a little joke. I think this is the first time all 5 of us, usually it's my fault not being a little injured out of training camp, but all 5 of us, healthy, all the starters are ready to go. So it's something we're looking to build on and show the league what we're about.
Start at home. I know, last year you guys started on the road very well.
Yeah.
But to get that home crowd involved early, I know you talked about the rematch against Toronto, but just how big is that?
That's huge, man. We feel like we let the fans down, obviously, with that East final. Everybody had expectations coming off that bye. We're going to do what we did the year before and have a dominant win at home. So I think we owe the fans that. As a team, we're hungry, like I said before, to prove to the league that that was a one-off last year. But it's also a brand new team. We know they're a brand new team. We're a brand new team. Obviously, Davis Alexander is the starting quarterback. So just excited to get on the field and show the league what kind of product we're going to put forward this year. And, yeah, I think they should be worried for sure.
Growing up in Wisconsin, do you have to be a Brett Favre model or something like that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so. I grew up with Favre first and then Rodgers second, so that's something I get asked a lot. And honestly, I'm not sure I could pick one, but both of them I try to emulate my game off of. I mean, talk about arm talent and just tenacity. I mean, it's really impressive, and it's awesome growing up with that kind of right in your backyard.
How different are you this year from last year?
I feel like a lot of the little details I've improved at, and I think that's it's natural with a year 2 in a system, right? Like last year, it was a lot of trying to figure out where our guys were going, adjusting to the CFL and the different motions and formations and defenses. This year, it's a lot more like I kind of know where our guys are at, and I can see the little details in terms of defenders' technique, position, their coverage, that type of stuff. So, just trying to work on improving as much little details as I can. I think that's the growth I want to see for myself.
How important is Friday's game for you?
I mean, it's a great opportunity. Anytime you get a really good opportunity, you want to take it and run with it, and I'm really excited about that challenge and that opportunity. But just going to go out and execute and, not change the routine and do everything like with the preparation that I've put in so far.
Jason Maas had some strong words about the way you prepared for the camp and the way you're performing in this camp. So how special is it to hear from your coach?
It's very special. It's very special for that from my, coach and teammates. And, the thing is, like, there's a lot of guys here, and that's why I really like this culture, who are doing that extra work and who are putting in stuff, I stay after a lot, and there's a bunch of guys on the field out here with me getting better, doing a lot of other stuff. So it's really cool when you have a team that is built that way, and it really helps, especially at the position of quarterback, where, a lot of us are perfectionists. We're really worried about those details. So to have that sort of culture in place where guys are staying after, working, getting the extra stuff, very player-led, I mean, it's awesome for me.
You spent most of last season on the practice roster. If this is the role they have in store for you this year, is it something you're willing to do again, or you want to be part of the starting 3?
Yeah, I think I can't control anything right now, right? And so all I'm trying to do is just focus on where I'm at right now, being where my feet are, and then we'll take things when it goes. But I think my biggest thing is just trying to help the team. Whatever role that ends up being, I'm going to be there, and I'm going to try my best to help everybody elevate their games.
How do you see your future as a QB? You're 28 now, so you're getting in the thick of things. So how do you see your future?
No doubt. Kind of the same thing. I don't really know. I'm trying to just take it one step at a time and see where it goes. All I know is right now I absolutely love playing football, and it's a blast just being out here with everybody. You mentioned year 2. It was so cool coming out here and just seeing so many guys who I built relationships with last year and seeing those guys again. So I'm really having a blast. I've bounced around a lot, and there hasn't been a lot of times where I've been in the same situation 2 years in a row, truthfully. Like, I've just been bouncing from team to team. So it's really cool to find like the chemistry and camaraderie that I've had here, and I'm really enjoying it.
That's not a job, pro QB. There's not many jobs. Where do you see it in long term? Do you see it maybe if it doesn't work here, you put some good tape on and you find something somewhere else?
Yeah, you said it. Professional quarterback, I think like J.J. Watt had a quote or something where it's like, it's a short time frame in your life, right? And it's so weird because when you're in it, you're doing everything every single day, and it seems so long, but ultimately it's a short period in your life. And the thing is, once you walk away, it's not like there's any coming back. So for me, it's all about just maximizing day by day. I don't take it for granted that I'm out here. I'm very fortunate. It's very lucky to have this opportunity to play a game for a living. It's awesome. So yeah, I don't know. I'm just taking it day by day, and wherever it takes me and whenever that feels, I'll, you know, consider at that point.
Can you take us through just a typical day in camp for you? Because Jason talked about the extra work and like he's never been around someone who's put in that extra work. So
Sure.
can you just describe a typical day in camp from when you get up to when you go to bed?
Sure. So they have, yeah, they have us, you know, on a pretty tight ship in terms of we're doing a lot of stuff all day, and I think the biggest thing is just finding little areas where it's like, okay, I can put in some extra work. Because a challenging thing for camp is obviously every single day you want to go out and perform your best, but also you have a game in 3 days. So it's a little bit of a mix between, okay, I have a game coming up I have to prepare for, and I also have to prepare for practice and for the game. So for me, I think, I mean, I'm very similar to everybody else. I just would probably, you know, like the young guys have come in and have done a great job trying to get after it with some walkthroughs. So we've been really trying to nail the plays, and those guys have been doing an awesome job studying their butt off to get ready to go. And then just, you know, breaking down tape of the opponent whenever I kind of get an opportunity. So, but again, that's like, I know I definitely appreciate being shouted out, but that's everybody out here. You know, it's just like, I follow the example of all these guys out here are doing the same exact thing and working really, really hard. And I mean, that's why it's so awesome just to get that and just to kind of have that feel and respect and everything. So.
I saw you throw many balls around the post over there.
Yeah.
How much the posts are in a way for a guy coming from the States?
Okay, that's a good question. I haven't noticed it too much. I think there are some things when you're backed up, right? You have to be cognizant of it. Also, when you're in the red zone, you know, there's opportunities for guys to sort of run by the post. So when you're out there, you don't necessarily notice it, but it's just good to get practice and get a feel for where it's at. So, you know, you're kind of subconsciously aware of it.